go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What's angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning and a very happy new year. Hope everyone's doing all right and starting to recover, or maybe already have recovered. I got nothing to recover from over the last 24 hours. It's halftime and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app. I am Phil Elson. My partner is Matt Jones, C40C Unit. Kristen Johnson producing today, and we got you for the next 3 hours. Matt, a happy new year to you. Yesterday was interesting is, I guess, the word you can throw for any sort of a day where a lot happens. Usually New Year's can be very interesting days. Yesterday, interesting in really very tragic ways and in some interesting ways and good ways in terms of the football that we got a chance to see on the field. And, of course, we got the postponement of the Sugar Bowl till 3 o'clock. That has also altered our programming today. We carry all of the college football playoff games on ESPN Arkansas. So after halftime, Ruskin and Zach are not on the air. They'll have 30 minutes of ESPN programming, then the pregame leading up to the 3 o'clock kick. But, Matt, Happy New Year to you. It's good to be here with you in our ESPN headquarters studios today. And it's also a game day for women's basketball up in Fayetteville.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah, I think we should just make it easier for people to come into our country. I think that helps, too, we just drive over people in the middle of the street. It's ridiculous, man. It's a wild world out there. It almost makes me not want to go places. I mean, you start thinking about events. You think of the Chiefs, Kansas City Super Bowl party last year. There were shots fired. I've been to this game. I went and saw the Hogs play Ohio State down there years ago. It's just it's wild to think that we just let people run over people. It's really weird out there.
When you think about I'm assuming many of our listeners, I know I have been on Bourbon Street, right where this all occurred. And, I've thought to myself before, just about the idea of all the people that are gathered there for whatever day it is. I mean, you think about how many people be there on New Year's compared to any other day. It's, I wonder if that's all that different. But they have the barricades up, and I think I was reading that the barricades had malfunctioned, and so they were no longer up. They were getting fixed for the Super Bowl, which of course is in New Orleans this year too. And the barricades did not protect people on the sidewalks.
Yeah, the barricades would have prevented a lot of injury and death, but from the video I saw, it's like he turned off onto a sidewalk, almost ran into a storefront, kind of knocking out a group of people. So it wasn't pretty.
Wow, it's awful, and I think everybody's got like an opinion as to whether or not you should play the game yesterday. The whole idea is you got to know whether or not everybody involved in the game and around the city in that area. You're less than a mile away from where that occurred, and there are other IEDs that are found in coolers around the French Quarter. It's obviously, yes, you postpone the game, and the only way you play today is if you're 100% sure that everybody can be safe and gathered inside the Superdome, which I'm assuming they know. Otherwise, because you're going to start letting people in a couple hours. I mean, it's kind of all right there out in front of you. So it's a terrible way to start the year. Absolutely terrible way. And that's, this just sort of casts a pall over, the game today and really just a little bit of a pall over college football. But for those in New Orleans, it's got to be a little bit different to think about what you're usually feeling in New Orleans. And then the game that we were expecting to watch too, which, man, I mean, what's it like for the teams and the players? I mean, being under complete and utter lockdown in your hotels, and it's not like it's a hometown for any of them. I mean, they've come from miles across. So I just wonder if that also affects, if you do have the game today, what's the mindset for these guys? Because, Matt, I mean, you get yourself prepared up to knowing when kickoff is going to occur. We didn't even know that the game would be postponed until, a few hours before the game was supposed to be played. So, it's, you got to, and then everything else that goes into the chaos of what it must have felt like for these guys. Well, I'm sure they were taken care of in hotels. And then you got to get your mindset ready again for a game today and everything that goes into it. It can't be easy on the participants of the game either.
Yeah, they're creatures of habit. That's for sure. There'll be a game plan. We had a coach. Houston would do a little bit of this, but Del Rio would do this in a preseason game where you kind of make something up, manufacture a problem. Hey, the bus has a flat tire. So you're able to adjust and adapt because everything's on the board. It's like, hey, pregame this time. This group goes out this time. This is what we're doing leading up. I mean, your entire 48 hours before a game is planned out for you. And so you have to adjust and adapt. At least they should have played the game today at noon, honestly. Like, let's go. That's the other thing. At least they're playing it at 3 instead of waiting until 8 o'clock. That's the I guess that's the best thing they did. But yeah, you creature habit and you go and there's nothing else to it. You put it behind you and then you get focused back on your on the task at hand.
It tells you also kind of like who controls college football when initially the game time was going to be at night and the coaches had to, practice.
Yeah, don't make me sit around day 2 again when nothing, like, let's go. Let's go play when we can go. Yeah, and it's just a shame some people do stuff like that and mess it up for everybody.
Well, it's a lot of details yet to come out about this awful terrorist attack. And it's not for us to necessarily get into it too much, but it's affected everybody in that city, and it's affected the industry of college football, and certainly to start the year in this way in a place. I mean, Matt, what do you think of when you think of the of Bourbon Street and the French Quarter? I think of joy. I think of fun. I think of chaos at the same time, but a different sort of a chaos. I think of reveling, and so those who are looking to disrupt the way that our society lives, you go after places like that, so it can't be a surprise that was a target.
Man, I don't know somebody's mental health. What'd the coach say? That was that Shanahan, and they asked about the kicker's mental health. He's like, I don't know about the mental. It's like, I don't know about this guy's mental health, and I know this isn't a political show, but it's like, why do we have the easiest borders in all the land to get into?
Well, it's like he's American born. He's born in Texas.
I get it. I get it. But like, did his parents come over here illegally or legally? Is everything, it's like we have the, why do we, I don't understand it. It's just,
there's a lot to wrap your mind around, I think, with this.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous. Let's just make it easier for people to come into the States and let's see what happens.
Well, it's tragic, and it's kind of difficult to move past it in some cases. But there is a game to be played today. There were some games yesterday. One of them was, as far as I'm concerned,
I missed on that one.
Texas, Arizona State.
Yeah, I missed on the Oregon game. That's for sure. I mean, they didn't. Number 2 and number 4. Or who are those dudes? I mean, those are NFL receivers. I mean, they didn't even look. Oregon didn't even have anybody on the defensive side that even looked like they could match up with those two cats, man. And then the better of the running back isn't Junkins. That other guy they got, 32,
Henderson.
He's tough. He's speedy. I mean, that Ohio State team. I don't know who the favorite is going in now, but I would have to say Ohio State's the favorite.
We're such creatures of what we just watched, because I just remember thinking after Ohio State laid that giant egg to Michigan,
I was like, they won't win any games.
Has Ohio State and Michigan ever won national titles back to back? I've wondered that. I don't know if that's ever happened, but Ohio State looks like they're.
You mean one school one year and the other school the next?
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened.
I don't know, but it certainly looks like the Buck. Right now, Ohio State's playing the best sort of football. Texas, though, doesn't it feel like Texas just sort of plays to the level of where their competitor is? Which includes, for me, also playing up to Georgia a couple of times, but not playing up enough. Because I thought that game was over at 14-3. It didn't look like Arizona State was going to be able to compete physically with them, and then they took control of that football game. They really did. Outside, if their kicker didn't miss what was, or have partially blocked, like a 36-yard field goal, if you don't have that punt return for a touchdown, we're talking about a whole different thing.
Who are you taking?
Heck, if you find a way to keep Isaiah Bond in front of you on 4th down in overtime, we're talking about a different thing.
who you taking first in the NFL draft at running back? And a lot of people are hating on Yenti right now, but I'll tell you this: I was more impressed with Yenti's work against Penn State than any of those other cream puffs he played against. I mean, that dude ran so hard. You could tell that they were outclassed and outmatched and who the better team was early. I was more impressed with Yenti after that game, even though he didn't get to his 150. Everybody, it was I was really impressed with him. And then, your boy from Arizona State, that dude just, I mean, you want to talk about a top 100 pick? That dude's going to be a top 100 pick in the NFL draft. I don't know if he's a first rounder, but man, how tough he was. His leg drive, golly, he was not who. So my question is, who do you like better if you're an NFL team? Who are you drafting, Scadaboo or Yenti?
I guess I'm going with Yenti.
Yeah.
I guess so, but I think to me, Scadaboo's got something about him that is difficult to wrap your mind around. Now, he's got the low center of gravity. He's fast enough, and he's really strong. But, man, was it something to go through the range of emotions with him from the first quarter to the end of the game? I mean, of course, the whole story for Arizona State, or a major portion of it, is him. He's yelling at his quarterback. He's yelling at his lineman in the first quarter when it looks like they can't hang. Later on, not only does he does he basically put Arizona State on his shoulders, both in terms of their longest passing play of the entire game and running the ball and breaking tackles, but he does it after one of the all-time great postseason puking rallies we've ever seen, and then he can barely pick himself up in overtime, only to get the ball a couple minutes later and again try to run it. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody give as much effort.
That's the most physical Arizona State team I've ever seen. I mean, they were, in the second half, they were just as physical as Texas was.
What I'd have to say a little bit of that is Phil's boy, Hines Ward. I think his presence there and what he brings, that'll trickle down to every other position group, because I know he's instilled a toughness with those receivers in that offensive side. And then so you got to kind of pick your game up. And I agree with you, Unit. That was they all look like they had a couple of Hines Wards out there.
Well, and he also goes down as an answer to a trivia question as somebody that was part of the losing team that is voted MVP of the game.
The linebacker the linebacker from the Cowboys, is he the last one to be?
Chuck Howley is his name.
Yeah.
That's right, against the Colts. And it happened once in baseball when the Yankees lost to the Pirates in the 60 World Series. Bobby Richardson, their second baseman, was the MVP even though they lost. Doesn't happen very often. Tells you something about the performance you just saw. All right, we've got a lot of time for your calls and texts as we go throughout hour number 1 of Halftime today. Dudley Dawson and Brett Dolan will be our two guests. Our number, of course, if you don't have it written down, is 877-377-6963, and there'll be more halftime right after this break.
What we do is if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly.
This is halftime. This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
And some teams have conference games all the way down the stretch, and then others. That horn?
I think that's in the background there at the flag.
Okay, I got you. Down
We're about 30 yards from the railroad track.
Yeah.
Pack.
I got you.
Rolling.
I got you.
Yeah. So where were you headed there?
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Weekdays from 9 to 11, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
Hi, this is Truett Tollett with WT Equipment. We're here to help you get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait. This offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat Equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future. Elevate your potential.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witz Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witz Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
The big after Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Check out the huge savings under the porch and throughout the store. Save 50% off select work, hunting, and casual clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Sitlock, Drake, Browning, Pursuit Gear, and more. Hurry in while the selection is at its best. Don't miss the big Jelco Outdoors 50% off after Christmas sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Open New Year's Day, 10 till 5.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime here. I think one of the more interesting things that happened yesterday was the Citrus Bowl, this Bielema versus Beamer situation. Now, at first, I thought it was all about substitutions. You know, you get the injury all the way near the South Carolina side of the field. Bielema walking out that way, and he's extending his arms out in the T, which is what you see the officials make when they're coming over the ball and not allowing the center to snap it so that the defense can make a substitution. And then it felt like it leaned into that a little bit because, you know, on that very same series, I lost track of how many substitutions Illinois made near the goal line. It was like All of a sudden, 3 or 4 guys come out, 3 or 4 guys go in, 2 or 3 come out, 2 or 3 go in, and forces Carolina to call the timeout. I thought it was all about substitutions. Turns out it was all about a hand signal or an arm movement that Carolina had cleared with the officials to try and confuse Illinois about whether or not they're going to return a kickoff. And so, Brett, and you remember he got to this when he was at Arkansas, and it was about, the speed of the game and snapping the ball quickly, and it's about player safety, and he went to player safety in this case. Just a very interesting situation. When I was watching that, though, Matt, I was completely confused.
Man, that looked like they looked like they were kind of ready to go. Like that would be celebrity death match. You'd need to see those two go in. I don't think they do that anymore. Man, I don't know why you jump around. I kind of you start thinking about Beamer. It's like, hey man, if we're gonna go, let's go. But what am I throwing this tantrum for? It's like hold me back type thing. But
It's like don't you have a sideline coach that's a get back coach? But that felt like a hold me back coach.
He knew they were going to hold him back.
Yeah. I saw something where the Illinois players were like, South Carolina was calling them Syracuse. Like, oh, are we playing Syracuse? So they. There's a little trash talk going on.
Syracuse is pretty good.
They got the same colors. I mean, I think it's pretty much the exact same color scheme. Where they play in Syracuse. That's a good one. Yeah, Syracuse isn't that bad, actually. Had a pretty good year. Just not a Big Ten school, which I think is Big Ten's all beating their chest now. How was everybody else yesterday when you're watching Texas, Arizona State? I mean, was there a single person listening right here that was actually wanting Texas to win because they're an SEC team? Not me. Not me at all. I didn't take it personally this year if no SEC team makes it to a championship game or even the Final Four. I wouldn't take that personally at all. Heck, I hope that happens. I think it'd be great for Texas to get knocked. It'd be great for our listeners. It'd be great for the psyche of our listeners. I'd be all for it. I think it'd be great for everybody in the state of Arkansas. And truly, if they continue to play. Well, see, here's the thing. Is that you play to the level of competition, but now they're going to get a good team coming up here that's playing really good football. I don't know. I think it's really difficult because to me, I don't think Texas sets the standard of how it is that they play. It's up to their opponent how it is that they're going to play, which to me means Texas can't set the tone in this upcoming semifinal.
It was Texas when I think you might be right, Phil. It's almost like they play to their opponent. But when it got down to it, that touchdown pass when it was on 4th down and they blitzed, Arizona State brought the house, and that offensive line and back, they picked it up and gave him a clean. That's why he was able to get open, because as a D-back, when you're sending the house, that ball's coming out in 2 seconds, less than 2, because the blitz is coming. So you can kind of stay on your heels a little bit. They picked it up, and that ball, you could tell they thought that ball was going to come out, and it didn't. I thought when he had to, and I know I'm a big Quinn Ewers fan more than everybody else that comes on this show. I think he's the best quarterback prospect in the draft, in this next draft. When it came down to it, that dude made some plays when he had to.
He did. And he made the throw that he needed to make at that moment, which looked like just kind of laying it in there because he was wide open. But
it's a big-time play, man.
It was not the easiest throw to make considering what was at stake.
And then you don't realize, if you get the ball to start the first overtime, to second in the first overtime, it's sudden change. You go right back out there on the offensive side, and they called a great play, and they caught – it's almost like a trail play. Where you're catching the second guy running down the channel, and they scored again, in 2 or 3 plays. And then what was your thought, though? Because it's like Thierry Henry said, if you make the shot, you're always right 100% of the time. What was your thoughts on going for 2, though, in that second overtime when you didn't have to yet?
Well, I think you do in the second overtime.
No, the third is when it starts.
Is it point after, and then you have a drive from the 25, and they still have to go for 2, and then it's all 2-point conversion?
Yeah.
I think
that's what Texas. I remember. Yeah, they had to go for 2 after they scored a touchdown.
I wondered if maybe you go for 2 even before they had to do it to tie the game, but in the first overtime, so that you don't get to a second one at that point. I was wondering. I kind of wondered about that. There was a big moment. It kind of looked like Auburn's a good kicker. He's a good kicker. You miss a field goal. What was that, about the 5-minute mark? Gets Arizona State the ball back. It was a little bit of a longer field goal.
Yeah, he was 1 of 3, huh?
And then to get it back and to have a chance to win it with as makeable of a kick as you'll ever make in your life. They centered the ball for him. Sark is the announcers who said, look at Sark, how he's standing there in front of his kicker, just kind of talking, big smile on his face. They're sharing a laugh. It's all positivity. I don't think Sark could have handled it any better than he did. Looking at that kid's face, I thought he'd have made a kick from 78 yards because his coach believed in him. And then off the foot, it's going down the middle, and all of a sudden it tilts to the left. You're like, oh my goodness, there's no way.
I don't care what the coach is telling me in that moment. If I've missed like 2 kicks, I'm still in my head. I'm still, until I make a kick, I'm thinking, man, I just got to make this thing go through somehow.
Sean says the thing that I kind of wonder, and you're right. I mean, why does ASU blitz in that moment? That's the thing I kind of wonder. I'm not like, just drop 8, bring 3. They're too close at that point. I just thought if there's anybody that you're not letting get behind you, it's the guy that got behind them. What did you? I mean, it was hindsight 2020 and all of that, and I thought just the fact that Arizona State stopped Texas's run game dead in its tracks says something about how they can D. I just kind of wonder about bringing the house on 4th down.
It's not a bad call because I know what you're trying to do when it's 4th and 9. You get the ball out quick, and if they throw it by short of the sticks, you kind of rally and tackle. But yeah, I mean, you as a safety, you have to understand the situation there, and you have to be deeper than the deepest, and that's it was an uncontested. That's the thing. It was an uncontested catch. That's what hurts. It's like you got to at least contest it, do something, make it difficult on them, but it wasn't. I also thought the Penn State quarterback, I thought he said he's coming back. Arizona State quarterback said he's coming back, but I think Drew Aller, he's on the come as far as next year. He'll be a top 5 quarterback drafted. I'd like his size. What did you like about the Kansas State transfer that's the Ohio State quarterback, Will Howard? What was your thoughts on how he played?
I think he's poised. For one, I think he took advantage of open receivers when he had the opportunity to. Not too much is expected. I mean, he doesn't have to do a ton necessarily. It's a good defense. They can run the ball. That's the thing, is that when you get 2-star running backs like that and receivers that can get behind almost any defense, I think he's got a lot of confidence in just how they move the ball. He plays like that.
Those are 2 NFL receivers. So you go back and you look at Burrow when he was at LSU, how they had 3, big-time guys. Those number 2 and number 4 for Ohio State, those dudes will be playing on Sunday, no question about it.
So to take that conversation and move it over to Ashton Yinty, you think of how many guys that Howard's playing with, if he's handing the ball off to or throwing to, are going to play on Sunday? Just take that into account. How many guys that are blocking for Ashton Yinty at Boise State are going to be blocking on Sundays?
Well, that's the other thing that I brought up. I don't know, 6 weeks ago. How many guys trying to tackle Yinty are going to be playing on Sundays? He doesn't play. It's not to use a Clay Henry word, it's not a plethora of defensive guys.
He said he didn't even like that word.
Oh, a bevy. We'll use bevy then, or a gaggle, however you want to use it. But there's not a lot of NFL talent on defense in the conference that Boise State plays.
If he was on any other team, like.
Dude ran. I was more impressed with him against Penn State than I was at any other game. He ran so hard, tough, physical, did everything. He going up against real talent and a better team.
It is. It's like, all right, well, impress me. What's more impressive, breaking tackles in front of the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage? He had to do quite a bit of that. Quite a bit of that. And by the way, when Clay rejoins the show with us on Wednesday, he may be bringing a steel ruler for your knuckles for the one word that's the one word he's ever said.
No, he said, if you remember right, he said you can use it once a year.
All right.
I'm just getting it out of the way. It wasn't the best song in the world. It's just a tribute. And anytime I can give a shout out to the Hall of Famer, Fisherman Clay Henry, I try to.
Well, you get one time to do it.
That's it.
Not a plethora of times.
That's my one. There. Oh, now the unit's the only one left. We don't have to get them all out of the way right now.
Be careful, unit. You got like 363 days to.
I've got a plethora of days.
Oh gosh, you're done. Whether you're looking for your next side-by-side motorcycle, ATV, zero-turn mower, always your local Wood Power Sports store is the place to look. Locations in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville. They got all the brands you're thinking of: Yamaha, Kawasaki, Hustler, Honda, just to name a few. Outstanding service and parts capabilities. They'll even deliver at Wood Power Sports. Go to woodpowersports.com to learn more. Wood Power Sports, a solid name you can trust. Halftime's number is 877-377-6963. More right after the break.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
You're listening to Halftime live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Are you tired of the same old smelly gym? Then it's time to try something new. Let's Hang Out. The Hangout Fitness and Sports is the River Valley's only multi-sport family-friendly facility with a 24-hour gym and indoor courts for tennis and pickleball. With over 8,000 square feet for the gym alone, it's never overcrowded. The Hangout has certified trainers on staff with group personal training available. If HIIT, bar, yoga, or Pilates is your thing, they have that too. Join today and get January for free with a 3-month commitment. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's Hang Out. Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You got a hold on me. You got a hold on me. And I dream of you nightly.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And our program is quite a bit different today because of the Sugar Bowl broadcast at 3 o'clock. We are airing the Sugar Bowl in its entirety, which also means Ruskin and Zach won't be on the air. 2 to 2:30 ESPN programming, and then at 2:30 it is pregame Sugar Bowl programming. 3 o'clock kickoff, and it's Georgia versus Notre Dame. Get into this game a little bit here. Notre Dame is a bit of a I know Riley Leonard can throw it, but they're a little bit of I can't put it in terms of one-trick pony. If I'm Georgia, you got to do everything you can to stop the run, and specifically to stop the QB run with as dangerous as Leonard can be. They need to get Notre Dame into 3rd and long, force him to throw. That to me is going to be pretty key for this Georgia team. That's independent of making sure Gunnar Stockton isn't facing too many 3rd and longs on the offensive side as well. Because if you think that the troubles they had running down Haynes King of Georgia Tech, Riley Leonard's better when it comes to running the ball.
I think this game is going to be I don't think Notre Dame's going to score 21 points. I got Georgia in this one. The physicality, the way. If they win this game, that's how they're going to have to win it. Notre Dame's defense is going to have to step up. You got a backup quarterback. It's going to have to be a 24-17 type of game for Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame can score more than 24 on Georgia's defense. I don't. So I got Georgia in this one. I know they got their backup quarterback, and I do like Notre Dame's coach. Man, I like a lot. There's a lot to like. These are both really good teams. I'm not poo-pooing on Notre Dame at all. I think the matchup, what's going to get them, the physicality, how they are. I don't think Notre Dame's going to. I don't think they're going to have 3 touchdowns against Georgia.
I wonder about. Do you give Notre Dame any kind of an edge because of a backup at quarterback?
Absolutely, I do. I mean, you got a guy that hasn't been in game situations. What do we talk about with these quarterbacks, Phil? Whenever they get out of high school and they go to college, and if you're not the starter, you don't have live bullets. You're not getting hit. You're not into the. So we'll see how he acts when he gets hit, when things happen, when it is 3rd and 9. You're getting a blitz you hadn't seen all year, except for in the film room because you hadn't been playing. They're going to do a couple things to confuse them and mess them up. I'm sure they'll have them ready. And the thing as an offensive coordinator, when your backup comes in, you tighten up the playbook a little bit. Everything's not, he does a couple things a little different than Beck, but you don't. The playbook's not all the way open. Although they've had 30 days since their last game, it seems like, so they'll be able to put a couple things in.
You can point to Ohio State with a 3rd string and Cardell Jones. You can point to Alabama, and they've put a backup in as well. It's a lot different with the Alabama situation. We have no idea whether Gunnar Stockton is going to be a guy like a Jalen Hurts or a Tua Tagovailoa, who, by the way,
yeah, those are both NFL dudes.
Don't just play on Sundays; they're really good on Sundays when healthy. So that's a bit of a different thing. You look at Ohio State; it's like Cardell Jones. That roster was amazing. That was a great Ohio State team, incredibly talented. And I think this Georgia team is. I don't know if it's quite to that level.
Yeah, I'm interested to watch it. I mean, we've seen Georgia play. The knock on Georgia is they don't have the outside speed. I saw that second half against Texas. We've seen this good Texas team, and And Texas kind of does play to their opponent, but that was the best defensive half of football I had seen. Though that was when Texas fans weren't thirsty anymore and started throwing all their water bottles on the field.
And nobody, by the way, faced any sort of punishment from it either. I think that the idea, we got cameras in the stadium, we're gonna hunt all these students down and take away their tickets. No, I don't think any of that happened. So I mean, you're looking at can you also say to the idea, did Georgia play to the level of their competition at times this year? 10-point win over Mississippi State at home. Not a good Mississippi State team. Lost to Alabama.
That's mental, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a really good Alabama team. Not at all. It seems to me some ups and some downs. But Texas is used to playing in a tight football game right now, which I guess, we haven't quite been to. But at this point of the year, you should be ready for playing in a tight ball
If you're
game.
Penn State, you want to play Notre Dame. That's what I'm looking at. If I'm looking at who does Penn State want to play, they don't want to play Georgia. They would want to play Notre Dame. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a physical game. Both these teams are physical. Both these teams can get back-to-back stops, field position, turnover. Does Gunnar Stockton have 2 turnovers or does he have 4 touchdowns? Because it's going to be one or the other. He's either going to go out there and have 3 or 4 touchdowns or he's going to have 2 or 3 turnovers. And so we'll see how he plays.
I wonder if there's going to be like any empty seats here. There has to be some empty seats. Just not in the idea that that people might be frightened to go to the game because of what occurred on Bourbon Street. That may be a portion of it, but I mean, people buy flights for the next day to get home and get back to life, or getting ready to buy their tickets to the next game because that's what it's about, right? Your team wins, you get to go to another neutral site, spend the money all over again. I just wonder who's got the money to do this on a consistent basis. But, like the Rose Bowl atmosphere looked outstanding. Peach Bowl looked great. Sugar Bowl should be. I mean, these are 2 fan bases that are rowdy, and they have a little bit of history recently. They played a home and home. I think what years were that? 2019 and 17. It's been recent, but there have to be some empty seats for this game because people are going to go home. And I also wonder if there will be people that don't feel that they want to go into a big gathering, and whether you feel like that or not, I wouldn't blame somebody for feeling like that. Now you get I've worried about big gatherings like that after a terrorist attack. I remember feeling like that after 9/11. This is different because this is somebody that was born in Texas, a U.S. citizen, in the United States Army for 10 years, and just something must have happened in the last few years to change his mindset and everything about him so much. So I really wouldn't blame anybody that had tickets and feels, you know what, I don't know if I can do this today. If you do have tickets and you do go to the game, great. But I wouldn't criticize anybody for choosing not. 877-377-6963. Robert is in Fort Smith. Hi, Robert. How you doing? And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Bill, Matt. I got a quick question, though, and then y'all tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think the NFL for tonight has got something to do with them playing at 3 o'clock? Because I've been to the Sugar Bowl when OU played LSU, and they moved that to a Monday night because they weren't going to compete with the NFL. They're like, no. So I'm just wondering if it's a ratings game.
Well, there is. I don't think there's a Thursday game this week. Remember the last week of the NFL, there's no Thursday game, there's no Monday night game. And so you get 2 on Saturday. It's all AFC North. So I don't think the NFL had anything to do with why this game has been moved to 3. Because initially, I mean, there's a bowl game too. I think isn't
Duke and Ole Miss.
That's right. Duke and Ole Miss in the Mayo Bowl was supposed to kick off about the time that this playoff was initially moved to. It's the Gator Bowl. Sorry. So I think it had much more to do with the coaches requesting, can we not play late at night so that we're not getting back home at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning? And also, it's like you'd said too, you really it's different to sit around a little bit on New Year's Day when those guys would have had other football games to watch and get their mind mentally prepared for. And you don't want these guys, and I was going to call them kids, you don't want these players sitting around all day long, literally with nothing to do except wait.
I would move the game to Texas, Ohio State. Right now they play on the 10th, and Penn State plays the winner on the 9th. I mean, can you not even flip that and make Texas, Ohio State play on the 9th? Because it's one less day to prepare for your next opponent, one less day to get healthy, and it's a travel. You're on a site in New Orleans, then you got to go to the Capital One, the Orange Bowl. Is that in Miami still? And so. Are you even going? Are you pulling a Van Horn? Are you even going back home? Are you just going? Are you loading up after this and going straight to the bottom of the map?
There'd be a lot of time. Keep in mind also what's going on at the same time is portal visits. I mean, these guys have some visits on campus. I'm assuming both these teams over the next few days, because I know Arkansas does. So it's just because you're playing in the playoff games doesn't mean you might not have some of these things scheduled too. I would think they want to get home and know who they're going to play, or if you're the losing team, start planning on your next team immediately, because a lot of other clubs have have a few weeks on you. Brought to you here on Halftime by Valley Family Dental. It used to be known as Riley Farm Dental. They're still at the entrance to Riley Farm and still providing every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Valley Family Dental, specializing in general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and now same-day crowns. It's Doctors Sparkman Farmer and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice at Valley Family Dental. You can visit them at 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farm, right off Highway 71 in Fort Smith, 226-3500, valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Back to wrap up the first hour of halftime right after this.
I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
This is Halftime.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Neuson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker Neuson dealer.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services at Long Life Attic Pest Control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Hey everyone, Erica Jensen here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Are you happy with your current office technology provider? Did you know that AAA Business Systems has been in business since 1979 and longer than any other provider in Northwest Arkansas? Listen up, I may be a Cajun girl at heart, but I'm a Razorback through and through. Call me today at 479-442-4185 to learn more about the one company that could truly change the way you work, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Super Bowl parties, Mardi Gras celebrations, Valentine's decorations, and more. Party supplies for 1 to 100. Shop the Party Place in Fort Smith.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Call the Hogs with Razorback women's basketball this season for exciting matchups inside the Basketball Palace of Mid-America, Bud Walton Arena.
All the changes we've had, the one thing that stayed really same is I'm going to coach them as hard as I'm going to love them.
Experience great family fun and entertainment by cheering on the Hogs along with the Hog Wild Band, cheerleaders, dance team, and mascots. Carly inside, up with the ball, fouled, and one. Tickets start at just $5 at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Shots all over paradise, don't cry. When the moon is in the zone, I feel don't show her eyes beyond.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Arkansas opening up SEC play tonight. Women's basketball at Bud Walton Arena, 8 o'clock against number 6 LSU, who is undefeated at 15-0. LSU also is a 22.5-point favorite for this game on Bet Saracen. Jersey Wolfenbarger making her return to Bud Walton Arena. She hasn't played a game there since the end of the 22-23 season. Remember, she sat out last year. She has started the last 4 games for LSU, has been playing well. And Kim Mulkey has not, at least with the defensive effort for her teams in the first quarter for the last few games, has not been all that happy. But they're still beating teams by an average of near 30 points a game. And I wonder if Kim Mulkey goes on the well, there's 2 directions to go here. Whenever it is that you're against the Kim Mulkey coach team, because I've seen her dress in feathers before in a game that I've been to. And then there are other games where I've seen her dress all in one color, and it wasn't like, bright yellow or gaudy purple or anything sparkly or anything. It was just kind of almost felt like she dressed down a little bit. But that's the coach that probably dresses more flamboyantly than anybody I've ever seen in college sports.
She's like Mark Wahlberg and the other guys. She's a peacock. You got to let her fly, man. Don't try to. She's are your girl Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect? It's like she's a free range pony. You got to let her go, man. Let her neigh.
Kim Mulkey is about as much of a badass as there is.
She's like cool in the game, I mean, she's got it going on. It's a little. She's like Andre Agassi in '93. It's like you're like, I don't, man, that's just a little too much. She is Bill Walton. She would blend in right there at a Grateful Dead concert, wouldn't she?
About a foot and a half shorter though,
man.
But I mean, she's done the tie-dye thing before. But to win a national title as a player and then to win 4 at 2 different schools, and I feel like what Arkansas is doing with John Calipari for men's basketball is what LSU has kind of already done with Kim Mulkey for women's basketball. I mean, bringing in a coach who is, I'm pretty sure she's already in the Hall of Fame, to give it another go-around at another school that nobody would have seen coming, but when you look at it, it does make some sense. Arkansas's got the natty in men's basketball. LSU did not until she showed up, but they had some Final Fours. It was a good program. And it's also, like, you already had sellouts for men's basketball at Bud Walton Arena. You already had the giant crowd. And that already was, a reason why you're going to put money on Arkansas when they play at home. She's done that for their women's games at the PMAC. Like, they draw better for women's basketball than they do for men's. And it's amazing to see, like, if she dresses flamboyantly, Matt, well, there are many older men that are in their 60s or 70s that dress like she does when they go to the games in Baton Rouge. She's completely changed the culture of LSU women's basketball. And it's not just about the wins. The wins obviously lead the way. But they're crazy about it now there.
She's like, she looks like Doc on Johnny Carson. He's like, what kind of suit are you wearing?
That's what I saw him ask Doc yesterday.
Every time.
Said it was an Italian suit.
Every time.
I think you and I might have seen the same
fashion
episode.
icon, Mulkey. Okay. See, my pops has told me, like, he remembers watching her play, that she was a stud, like she was a really good basketball player.
She was a terrific basketball player. That's right. But also, like, what do you do with the outfits? People will call her like Elton John. Elton sold a lot of those outfits. I think he's had you can't call it a garage sale if it's Elton John. It's an estate sale. She's got to have some kind of storage unit somewhere where all this stuff is kept. You're talking NIL money out the wazoo. Join us on Halftime, 877-377-6963. We'll be talking with Dudley Dawson from Hogville about 15 minutes. Otherwise, it is you and us when we come back after this top of the hour break.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got puppies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
With the new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the fence man was
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
One minute after 12 o'clock in the afternoon now on the second day of 2025. Welcome back into halftime. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson with my partner, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston. The unit is producing. Our calls and texts always come in at 877-377-6963. Dudley Dawson from Hogville, about 15 minutes. I feel really good that I actually said the year correctly. It takes me a while before I actually at least digest that it is a new year. Usually say, well, on my checks, I'm still putting last year. I don't write checks anymore. The only guy that takes a check for me is the guy who does the yard. It's the one thing he doesn't have Venmo. Otherwise, it's all Venmo, and you don't need to know the year what Venmo is. You just have to make up a reason why you send it to them.
It's a Barry Sanders, Mark Price year. This is the year of Mark Price. We're in 2025. Let's go. Turn up.
I can't believe the thing. People would be like, all right, look, I can't believe we've already made it through 2024. The thing for me that I can't believe is we are 25% through the 2000s, or at least this century. That's the thing that I'm having a little trouble with, because 25 years ago to me still feels like a long time ago.
They talked about that. So it was a 1982 January 1st Carson last night, and so you had Eddie Murphy before he was, just whatever he ballooned into the 80s. But one of the things they were talking about, and Carson and Ed, about, can you believe we're almost to the year 2000? They couldn't believe that it was, in the 60s, so what 70s, the year 2000 seemed so far off. And Ed goes, I want to go on December 31st, 1999. That's when he said he went. I don't think he went out that time, but that's
Well, Ed, a lot of us thought we were going to be going out that time.
That's what they were like 2000. How are we going to make it to the year 2000? And now we're to 2025.
We don't always watch the same episode, but I think we did last night. So Charles Nelson Riley and Alan King were also the other guests. I did see the Eddie Murphy monologue, and then he did a Karnak. Of course, is always fun with his hermetically sealed mayonnaise jar. Got a little news for Arkansas football. Going to be looking for a new secondary coach. Darren Wilson has taken the job as the defensive coordinator at Georgia State. So that's the first coach to leave. You haven't even heard a thing about this coach looking for that job or whatever since the day that Petrino visited Charlotte to go interview for that head coaching job. And there's literally been no talk about not just Petrino, but also T. Well at Florida State. He cut that down pretty quickly. And now new secondary coach. Hey, if you go into next year with almost the entire coaching staff intact, and that's what you want, you can look at the transfer portal and everything, but I think it should be noted to keep the coaching staff together. Secondary had some issues this year at times, though.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our defense was the stronger of the groups. If you were to say who was stronger this year, defense or offense, I mean, we had too many turnovers on offense. We didn't score enough points. When it came down to it, I thought our defense was able to get stops and do some nice things. You know, if we win 8 games next year with this schedule, man, you're going to be looking for a new offensive and defensive coordinator. I mean, T. Will, we got to be thankful and lucky to have Travis Williams as our D coordinator right now, and each year he's getting closer to taking a head coaching job or a DC. But I go back, I look at Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart. It's not always about, you know, a lot of people talk about these quarterbacks. Well, you got to go before you get found out. It's like, no, you're going to get found out and not have a successful. You got to go when you're ready. Timing matters a little bit. Kirby Smart turned down a few jobs before that Georgia one came up, and so I'm sure there are suitors for him, and maybe there are opportunities. But we win 8-9 games next year, you might lose both your coordinators.
Got to rebuild the safety position too. Jaden Johnson out of eligibility. TJ Metcalf transfers to Michigan. Hudson Clark played safety, of course, at times, and then had to move over to corner. I do like Larry Worth at safety, and I think that's a guy that you're going to be counting on for next year quite a bit.
Got to find another Sorey. You know, there was something, and you had one in Chris Paul, and then you get Sorey, and it wasn't a drop off. But if you could find a tandem, if you could find somebody to go with them at that linebacker spot, playing both those guys together, man, you would make a lot of tackles, because to me, Sorey, I think, well, now that Landon Jackson's gone, Phil, I think Sorey is our best returning defensive player.
877-377-6963. Let's take a phone call from Charlie here. Happy New Year, Charlie. How you doing?
Happy New Year, Phil. Happy New Year, Matt. See you. How's it going?
Tuna.
Good day today.
Well, you know what's crazy? I had, I usually try to make it about 2 or 3 days on my New Year's resolutions. I try to give it at least 2 or 3 days before I start cheating and falling off again. Well, it only took 1 day for the tuna this time because, it was going to be less road rage. That was my thing. Well, I just
pull
don't
over,
understand.
Everybody, pull over.
I just don't understand why people don't turn their blinker on and just think it's okay to stop in the middle of the road and not turn their blinker on. That's okay. All right, everything's good. I'm good now. I had to get that out. I said a few words, but then I asked for forgiveness afterwards because I'm trying to fix it and be better. But anyway, I will say this. Those games yesterday, man, extremely entertaining. Phil, I want to ask you, because you had talked about, the physicality of Arizona State and Texas. Were you surprised the fact that Texas could not run the ball worth a crap, and that Arizona State not only blocked Texas well, but their running back, obviously, in my opinion, Matt, proved that he might – look, I know it's one game, but to do that against an SEC defense and he seems more of a complete back than Genty. And look, he talked his talk and he backed it up. He said, ain't nobody finna stop me, and didn't nobody stop him. They just came up short. I mean, he balled out, and I wonder what's a comparison for you, because always when you're white, right, you get compared to CMC if you're a running back, but he was a little bit shorter. He almost looks like a white Maurice Jones-Drew almost, because he ain't no 6 foot. The guy may be 5'9", 5'10" at best. I wonder what you thought on that. And Ohio State looks like the best team in the country right now. They are kicking everyone's teeth in. I tell you what, if Texas does not come and block better than they did yesterday against Arizona State, they're going to lose that game. Good luck blocking those guys, because, in my opinion, Quinn Ewers balled out. He bailed them out, in my opinion, because they could not run the football. But that was a very good game, and I want to send some prayers. That's all the stuff going down in New Orleans. I don't even know how you play that game today. It's going to be tough, but it's got to be played. I am excited to see the game. But anyways, I just wanted to say that. And also on the Boise game, guys, I felt like Boise really competed. Just too many missed opportunities. They didn't capitalize. Penn State didn't look that great to me. So I just wanted to see what y'all thought about that. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Charlie. Thanks very much. 877-377-6963. I thought Texas would move the ball on the ground. 53 rushing yards. Not much of that is a matter of sacking the quarterback. They just couldn't move. They couldn't move them. I thought when I watched Arizona State defensively, to me it was just they played the technical aspects of rush defense very well. I mean, they were exactly where they needed to be. Texas, I thought they'd be able to move them out of the way. I think there are, 2 guys on that offensive line for Texas that are going to be playing on Sundays?
Oh, at least. Man, it was awesome to see Jake the Snake Plummer in attendance there.
He was ready to roll, too.
I'm a fan of his. I've liked him since he was in college. Man, the running back reminds me a little. He got a little Peyton Hillis in him, and I know a lot of times you do the white, black thing when you're comparing these guys. The thing that Scadaboo can do is he's so much like a teammate of mine, Mark Pierce or Peyton Hillis is. He's very natural with everything. One of the things I talked about, our big man, number 9 for the Razorbacks. I love the dude. He's a great player, can dominate the paint. He's not a natural ball. He doesn't have natural ball skills. So
Fucking Adu.
Yes, he needs a basketball in his hand 24/7, playing catch with a frisbee, with a racquetball. Everything you can do that's an eye-hand coordination movement, he needs to be doing daily. Scadaboo, it's innate to him. It's natural to him. You can work on it and get better. But some people have ball skills and hands, and Peyton Hillis did too. That's what I'm talking. And some people really, really have to work at it to be better. And that's the thing about Scadaboo is who he reminds you of a little bit is Taysom Hill for the Saints. Now, I don't think he can play quarterback, but he's going to go to the next level. He's going to be your punt protector. He's going to be on kickoff. He's going to play all the special teams. You're going to be able to have he's going to be okay. You're going to have some stuff for him.
It's tough to knock him down. It's that center of gravity and
his
the
leg
thick
push.
trunk.
I bet his leg press over 500 pounds.
You know, and I think of somebody like that. You know, we think of like Ricky Henderson for all the great speed. You look at his thighs. He'd have been the same style of running back if he played football as Scadaboo. Low to the ground, incredibly tough to get down to the ground. That's exactly what I saw from him. It takes 2 or 3 guys, multiple steps in order to bring him down. And who was I forget which position it was on the offensive line. If we need a new statistic in football, an assist, not a tackle assist, a touchdown assist for the offensive lineman who basically should get the touchdown for, I was going to say push him in the end zone. You think of the tush push with Philly, but I don't remember who it was. He bear hugs Scadaboo and basically rolls him into the end zone. You say offensive linemen, the only stats they get are sacks against them? No. Touchdown assist should be a new thing.
I like it, like the hockey assist. There was one of the guys, he came out and said, if you're an offensive lineman and you give up a sack a game, you're working at Amazon. But if you're a defensive lineman and you get a sack a game, you're getting drafted in the first round.
Right, and you don't have to borrow somebody else's prime either. Get over to Andy's Frozen Custard. Anytime you're searching for something cool and delicious, they've got the perfect game time treat to satisfy your sweet tooth. Andy's Frozen Custard. Make sure you take home a pick 6 for college football playoff games or NFL playoff games or Arkansas Razorback basketball games. 6 of your favorite flavors. It's the perfect game time treat. You find Andy's Frozen Custard, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive, Conway, and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. After the break, it's Hogville's Dudley Dawson. Stay with us on Halftime.
Hasta la vista, baby.
This is Halftime.
That's bitter, number 35, a 6'11 junior from Slater, Missouri, Joe Klein. Michael Jordan knocked down by Klein. Every time for Arkansas, their key player, obviously, in the middle, 6'11. Joe Klein leads the team in scoring and rebounding.
Is that a better introduction for you this morning?
Can we just put that on a loop, just drive around in my car and feel special?
This is the Morning Rush, only on ESPN 95.3.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics. What makes you unique from other stores in the area?
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this and that. I'll say 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Gotta keep them separated. Separated.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
On our phones right now from Hogville is Dudley Dawson, covering the Razorbacks for a long, long time now. And one of our guests on Halftime. Dudley, hope you had a good New Year. How you doing today?
Doing good because I stayed at home and let the others take care of New Year's. We just had a good night there and watched some football and all kinds of good stuff.
Best way to handle it, man. Best way. So we did not even yet bring up Desmond James. They said he's going to enter the transfer portal. I love the chuckle you give us there at the moment. Yeah, I guess he's saying he's going to go into the portal, but I didn't think it's still open. So I thought maybe that means he goes in the springtime, which makes me wonder if that means he misses spring football with wherever it is he chooses to play.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do, not practice. Right. That'll help him, yeah.
Well, it's my understanding that you get 5 days after your bowl game.
Okay.
Another opening thing, because Arkansas is bringing some kids in this weekend. So they're, able to do that as well, that, these teams were involved. But, yeah, that is the all-timer right there so far in this transfer portal era, that you catch your first 3 passes, you become a household name in the state, and then you jump in the portal.
Am I supposed to worry about anything involving this? It's someone that could not crack the 2 deep or anything on the depth chart until you out of necessity, obviously puts on this amazing show. You're bringing in a lot of receivers that already have a track record at other schools. So I don't know if this means too much. What do you think it means?
Well, I think that's probably the biggest reason he's headed out is because the other guys are coming in. They've made it clear that, with losing Andrew Armstrong and Isaiah and some others, that they needed to restock the cabinet, and they sure have. And they've got a couple more still coming in that, they're taking a look at as well. So, yeah, he, I'm sure that, the joke was that Lane Kiffin would be waiting on him outside of the stadium as soon as the game was over, and we'll see where he ends up, but this is a kid who obviously will go down in school history to this point with the longest touchdown catch, in school history. But wow, that was a brief time that we saw you.
Dudley, anything with the D-backs coach? Now, we lost a lot of D-backs, it seems like, as far as how the portal's gone. Is there something to do with the D-back coaches leaving as well? And who you look? Do we have any candidates? Who do you think is going to be the next defensive back coach?
Don't know yet. This kind of popped up obviously this morning. I don't blame you at all getting the defense coordinator position at Georgia State. You want to start moving up in your career, and he's still quite a young coach. So you never really go into an offseason thinking everybody's going to come back. And really, as you're trying to over-recruit the team here, you will always be trying to over-recruit the coaches you have here. So you will try to go out and get a better guy than him. You don't know if that's available, but that's certainly what you do. They do have some defensive backs coming in, both already in the portal, and they're still looking at some. And I'm sure they'll continue to do that. And Coach Pittman made it clear that while you may not be able to get them in this quick little period here, you would still be able to go through in the spring and get them. And you'd rather have them here for spring practice, but in the big scheme of things, in the landscape of college football now, you get them here when you get them here, and you try to plug them in.
So if I heard you right a moment ago, you said they got some secondary players coming in to visit shortly. Who else? Maybe you don't have to give names necessarily, but what positions are they looking at in this next week with players that are visiting?
My understanding, one more offensive lineman, a couple of secondary type guys, another linebacker, and another defensive lineman are what they're still after, whether it be in this little brief period or at spring. Obviously, you're just trying to replace everything you've got. I've made it clear that I don't, I understand fans getting upset when you lead the nation and people going out of the portal. But again, they were 6-6. The guys you knew you were going to lose, such as Andrew Armstrong, you were already trying to replace them. I don't think you should worry too much about losing some of these guys that are going elsewhere. And, they made it clear that they were using money for additions, not using money for retention.
Dudley, what are your thoughts as we've had back-to-back days with games, and then the unfortunate events, we get another one today, so 4 games in 3 days. Oregon kind of surprised me a little. I thought Oregon would show out better. Texas kind of plays to their competition. I thought Quinn Ewers made some big throws late in the game, kind of put the team on his back. You know, Penn State, I didn't ever think that game was in doubt. What are your thoughts in those 3 games, and then who do you got in tonight as well?
Well, if Georgia had the quarterback Carson Beck, then I'd take them. But right now, I think Notre Dame's playing pretty good, and so I would probably lean toward Notre Dame right now. Obviously, Ohio State is a freaking machine on offense right now, and I don't know who's going to be able to stop them. The ones left. So that would be my pick. Only Ryan Day could screw it up, I guess the Ohio State fans would say. But I do think Texas played pretty well yesterday until the Cam Scatterboo momentum just jumped on them. And I thought then they started playing not to lose. As you mentioned, Quinn Ewers had a great pass there, really at the end of the regulation. And then the dime he threw in, I believe it was the second overtime, showed why he's been the guy there instead of Manning. And Arch is going to get his chance when it comes time. But, I really thought Quinn Ewers stepped forward yesterday, and their defense is so good. So those are the 2 of the teams I really like. But I do think that tonight, I guess you got another one at 7 o'clock too with Ole Miss playing.
Yeah, Duke and Ole Miss. Yeah,
I wonder about the mindset for Ole Miss. Right? I mean, South Carolina looked like they certainly cared getting out there. They didn't win. Alabama, I don't know if it's a matter of not caring necessarily, or just that was a team with a lot of highs and certainly a lot of lows. But with Ole Miss, I do wonder about some buy-in to this game, because Kiffin's just been so focused on where they didn't get.
Right.
With
his
just
social
like
media. Florida State last year. Just like Florida State last year. They all, they whined about that and how'd that work out for them this year. But yeah, I think you're right. It'll be the mindset. I think Oregon probably showed up wanting to play yesterday, but just got bum rushed right off the start, and it, just like Alabama in the Alabama game where they were just tossing turnovers left and right. Sometimes you get too big a deficit to make up.
Hey, I was really impressed with the running back from Boise State, Yenti. I know a lot of people were kind of down on him because he had this amazing season, and then he go up against one team where you're overmatched. But, man, I was more impressed with him in the Fiesta Bowl than I was all year. I think he's a first-round pick, and I know that's there's not a lot of running backs that go in the first round anymore. What do you think? I'm a believer in Yenti.
Yeah, I believe that if he's there at 13, which is where Dallas is draft now, that they'll take him without a doubt. Whether you keep Rico Dowdle or not, that would probably be a basis on that. But if they don't get him at 13, tell you what, I'm drafting Cam Scatterboo in the second round for sure if he's still there.
I don't
freaking love that kid.
Yeah, if he was there, absolutely. What about the boy from Penn State, Tyler? He drops he drops almost a couple too many for me, but then all of a sudden he makes the big one in the end zone when it matters. He's a first round pick too, you think?
Probably, and I think Luther Burden is another one, that we obviously saw a lot of that could be a pick there for the Cowboys. They have so many problems and so many things they need to take care of. It's going to be an interesting draft for myself watching. Look forward to it. Also look forward to see where Landon Jackson goes, obviously.
Yeah. One last thing on Arkansas and who they got coming in here, because you said more about, they're looking at defensively. Are they done adding on the offensive side, or do they have enough tight ends? I just thought about it because Matt's mentioning the Penn State tight end. I know they brought in one from Texas A&M. I don't know if he's a pass catcher all that much, so I just wonder about if there are some more tight ends they're looking at. There have to be, I would imagine.
They are definitely looking at some. I don't know if they're going to get them in this period here. They do have one visiting, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. They do have one visiting during this short period. They will definitely look at those in the spring. And, it's not I try to put this the right way. Tight end is a position you really need to stock up on, but it's not something that you would have to be here for spring practice to be able to be very good at that position next year.
Celtics go to Minnesota, take on the T-Wolves, 6:30. What do you think, and how is Boston playing right now? It's either 24-9, but anytime you got to go against the Ant-Man, you got to be ready.
Yeah, not playing very well defensively right now. I'm disappointed in that. Jaylen Brown is day-to-day for the game with Minnesota. I'm actually going to be in Denver, ostensibly visiting my daughter next Tuesday when the Celtics play the Denver Nuggets. Looking forward to that. You know, former Razorback great and now Denver radio guy Scott Hastings. Looking forward to hanging out with him a little bit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to if they don't win these next two, then I'm gonna have to talk to Joe and the boys about that when we get up there. But Jordan, by the way, Jordan Walsh really coming on. I really like the way he's playing now.
Were you a manager when Hastings played?
Yes, absolutely. So that means I know a bunch of stories I can't tell.
Ah, man, that's what we have podcasts for, or shows that start at 1 a.m. Maybe we can get you on the phone for one of those. Hey, speaking of basketball, Tennessee coming up on Saturday. How many wins does it take to make the tournament out of the SEC this year? Because Matt and I are kicking that around.
8 and 10. I think gets you in
7 and 11.
Yeah, I do too. I was talking with Tony Basilio from Knoxville this morning, and you win 4, maybe 5 games on the road, you're set to not only get in the tournament, but you may win the league because it's so tough this year. It's amazing that we're now thinking the SEC is a basketball league first.
Baseball league first, Dudley. It's first.
Okay.
First.
Yeah, I look. Hey, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. I know we got to have these Washington State games, to start off with, but I'm ready to get to Arlington already.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know if I'll be there or not yet, but I appreciate you coming on, Dudley. A happy new year. Looking forward to more of these visits. Thanks for your time.
Same to y'all. Anytime, guys.
Dudley Dawson. Can read him at Hogville. You can hear him here on a Thursday on Halftime as well. Also brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Been serving all of our listening audience for over 70 years. Right at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel. Crabtree RV Center gives you the absolute best experience when you're choosing an RV for your family's adventures. Everything you need is on site, including the service and parts department. Crabtree RV. You can go online to crabtreerv.com for more information. And the number for halftime, 877-377-6963. Back right after this quick break.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is Halftime.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is Halftime.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at InStock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland,
America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
With the new Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, $7 goes a long way. A cheesy gordita crunch stacked with layers of luxury. A Doritos Locos Tacos, extravagantly crispy. A beefy 5-layer burrito overflowing with cheesy indulgence. It's all you want and more. For less. The new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell. It's Lux for less.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential.
Don't look to a stranger. You know in the end, I'll always be there. And when you're in doubt, and when you're in danger, take a look all around. I'll be there. Thinking of spots, promise, though they don't sound the way I planned them to be. You wait around a while, wait for me, I promise. I promise you are.
Welcome back to Halftime with Bill Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
One from the vault right there, my friend. I didn't remember the name of the band. When in Rome. I should know this for my addiction to the Casey Kasem shows I still listen to all these years later. Been doing this for like 4 years now. I need something else to listen to.
The VH1 pop-up video.
Oh, used to love that show. That was fun. That's where I learned a lot about Billy Idol.
You've seen, so we've all seen Zoolander, the Derek Leak collection, and the garbage, people wearing, he's like, I'm doing something special. Have you seen did you see Dave Chappelle at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame looking just like that?
I didn't turn the show on last night.
He looked like he was wearing something from the Derek Leak garbage collection. I mean, it's just all cut like these men. I mean, if you're a guy and you buy jeans that already have holes in them, we're already starting this off where we're not going to be cool, And it's like, what is Dave Chappelle doing? Like it was like the puffy shirt with Jerry Seinfeld. Somebody had to dare that dude. If you look at it, you're like, bro. That's not even what do you got going on? If I think of a
comedian, he's going to be a comedian no matter, and the joke is what you're wearing. I mean, that's different than leaning into the joke. It was worse than
Michael Jackson in Thriller, man.
Wearing the humor.
Oh my goodness, it was. I was laughing out loud.
That's why I can't wait to see what Kim Mulkey's wearing today. I don't mean this in a joking way. Like, that's actually for me a reason to turn the television on and potentially watch LSU. Yes, they're good. They've been really good for these last 3 years. But she's part of the show. Have you seen some of the outfits? I mean, I'm talking all yellow right down to the pumps that she's wearing. And I wouldn't even know how to describe the aura around the shirt. And that wasn't even the shirt with the feathered arms. I mean, the men's basketball, you don't do this. And again, this is not like a value judgment or anything. Women wear cooler clothing. A little bit different though, and this is more of an intimidation factor. I don't remember if I've seen this in the last few years, but I remember a game that Arkansas played at South Carolina. It was one of my first couple of years doing the games on the radio, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And Dawn Staley is wearing heels with spikes on the front. I'm talking spikes that are bigger than your thumb, that if you fell into her shoe, you would need somebody to pry you off of it.
Like Griff on Back to the Future too. You know,
exactly right. Man, it's I'm a little worried about the game in and of itself tonight, just because the Arkansas women's team is the only team in men's or women's basketball in the SEC that has more losses than wins right now. They're 7-8. It's a team that plays really hard. And I think there's something to build on there. It's just a lot of inexperience and youth that needs some time to develop here. And hopefully they'll be given that time to develop. It's just very difficult to develop over the course of just 2 to 3 months. Considering that for some of these young ladies, it's the first time they've ever been in the United States. And I think for them, they're also learning the culture of basketball. I don't know what the culture is like in Europe for basketball, but in the SEC, this is a tough, physical league with an immense amount of speed added onto it. And the attitude that they'll play with is the attitude like, I'm about to score on you, I'm going to let you know it, and I'm going to be doing this for the entire 40 minutes. And I think there's a bit of a culture shock that could be about to hit some of these players. Now, watching Izzy, and Izzy is as tough as it gets, I hope she'll be able to make it through the entire season. You know, she's got the boot that when she's not playing, she had whatever was going on with her hip or was her quad muscle in the last game against UCA. She had to come off the court a couple of times. She's going to need some help, but she's going to give it everything she has. And you know, you don't see a home team that's an underdog by 22.5 points very often, and that's what Bet Saracen has them at today. It's just tough. It's just a tough league, no matter what. You know, they do have A&M on the schedule twice. A&M's not very good this year. Mizzou's not very good this year. There's a few wins I think that you can get out there and legitimately beat a team, but to beat an LSU team like tonight, or to go to Texas, who has the biggest scoring margin in the nation so far, 33 points a game. They're outscoring their opponents. And that's the next game on Sunday. You need those teams to be at their worst, and Arkansas has to be at their absolute best. And then there still might have to be a couple of flukes here and there. Much different than when the men play Tennessee on Saturday. You know, Arkansas's men's basketball right now is they're in the race. They'll be in the race in the SEC this year.
If you you got to keep your point guard healthy, no question about that. So you got Jersey coming back. I wonder how people treat her, if it's open arms and nothing but love, or if there's a little haterade going on. The other ladies, was it Tequila Scott? Who's the girl that?
That's the other aspect
where is
too.
she?
You're right. So there are the other players that transferred out to other SEC schools. Talia Scott's at Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but I wonder, you know, Jersey's starting now. She never really kind of bloomed or blossomed, whatever you want to say, come to fruition at the university, and maybe now she's playing in a little bit of a different spot or whatever. But I wonder what you expect from Jersey this evening.
The thing that jumped out to me when I was getting ready for the game is she has not taken a single 3-point shot this year. Now, I think her percentage was in the low to mid 20s as a 3-point shooter at Arkansas. So, and Mike said in the paper today, looking at the shot chart for Jersey, is that she rarely takes a shot from outside the paint. She's no longer a guard. She was a guard at Arkansas, a tall guard that just would have trouble getting to the rim. You know, it would take an assist quite often. She does cut to the rim a lot. Didn't hit enough outside shots, but tell you what, even though she's not like the strongest of people at 6'5", the length of her arms and she's playing like that around the rim a lot more right now. So, that's a legitimate question, Matt. How do you welcome somebody coming back here? Because it was also, remember how she left? It was before the season started last year. It was like she'd gone through the trip to Spain. She'd gone through practice, and then I think it was a week before the first game, I'm not playing. I'm going into the portal. And then, she chooses LSU in March. But so even over the next 4 games, you'd be playing against players or a coach in one sense that was with you last year. You had Jersey and LSU tonight, traveling to Auburn next Thursday. That's who Talia's playing for now. Tennessee comes in next Sunday. Tennessee is where Samara Spencer is playing. And then Alabama comes in to Fayetteville Sunday, January 19th. And one of Arkansas's assistants, Pauline Love, took a job at Tennessee or at Alabama. So, it's all there, right there in front of you. So I just hope you see a good game today. I know they'll play hard, but this is where things change quite a bit. Arkansas has their best win, I'd say, is against Boston College. And now I'd say any victory over any SEC team will automatically become their best win this year.
So they've won 7 and 8. Do they get to double-digit wins this year? That's the question. Can they
3 out of 16 in the SEC is tough, but I do think that it's there for them.
Okay.
I think the opportunities will be there for them. And they you never know too. It's like you get somebody on the right day, you play your kind of game, you can surprise somebody in this day and age of college basketball. But there will be, a lot of ugly betting lines and for the women's team this year. That's just kind of a fact of the matter. 8:00 again tonight. So it'll be on SEC Network. Now you get to that rhythm of Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, and the occasional Monday game, which I do think we have one of those this year. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us here on Halftime. Brought to you, as always, by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, right next to Baum. I need a new Razorback hat. This one's just a little bit sweaty. Got to get over to the Stadium Shop. They've got a great selection of hats, including the low risers that I'm always looking for, the 47 brand. Whether your needs are tailgating, game day, man cave, dorm room, low-rise hats, doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt available at 479 Stadium or shoponrazorback.com. You can always give them a visit at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Make sure they know ESPN Arkansas sent you. Back to wrap up the second hour of Halftime in just a moment.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Halftime.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hogs. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-442-4185. Let's win together, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hi, this is Sydney from Ben Guerin. 2025 annual passes are now available at Ben Guerin Golf Course. We offer a variety of plans to meet your budget needs. We have special pricing for juniors, seniors, and military. If you're looking for the best golf value in the River Valley, then look no further than Ben Guerin Golf Course. Book your 2025 tournament outings now. For more information, call the Pro Shop at 646-5301, go to benguerongolf.com, or follow us on Facebook. When you think golf, think Ben Guerin.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan was my mortgage lender here. And Ethan, between you and Emily, over 2 decades.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of experience here to help you get closed on a home really quick. We offer custom financing available through VA, FHA, RD, and conventional loans. First Financial Mortgage has a great history of lending in the area. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Are you tired of the same old smelly gym? Then it's time to try something new. Let's Hang Out. The Hangout Fitness and Sports is the River Valley's only multi-sport family-friendly facility with a 24-hour gym and indoor courts for tennis and pickleball. With over 8,000 square feet for the gym alone, it's never overcrowded. The Hangout has certified trainers on staff with group personal training available. If HIIT, bar, yoga, or Pilates is your thing, they have that too. Join today and get January for free with a 3-month commitment. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's Hang Out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Find myself in love with you. If I could find my reason, one half one do.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Sugar Bowl broadcast is a little more than 2 hours away. 3 o'clock kickoff at the Superdome. We will have it here on your ESPN Arkansas affiliate. Ruskin and Zach are off the air today in order to make room for the Sugar Bowl. So once we're done at 2 o'clock for halftime, you'll have ESPN programming for 30 minutes, then the Sugar Bowl pregame. And as of right now, it looks like it's a full go for the Sugar Bowl, which to me means they feel really good about, I don't know if I could say 100%, but I would hope it would be, that everybody that is inside the Superdome or around the Superdome or heck, anywhere near downtown New Orleans is safe. I just wonder if they know that at 100% right now.
Yeah, man, everybody be safe. That's it's scary. I don't even know why people want to go places anymore. Everywhere you go, something like that's going on. But I did thought this was interesting. Patrick Mahomes doesn't make the Pro Bowl this year. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, there's 3 quarterbacks. I wonder if there's any, is that a chip going forward? Is he able to put that on his show and say when they get to the playoffs? So, and then your boy Jerry Jeudy made the Pro Bowl. Think about your owner. The Jets didn't want him because his rating's not good enough, and he's a Pro Bowl receiver.
Did it help that he's a Pro Bowl receiver, Mr.
I gotta
Johnson?
have better ratings, man. I don't know.
What did the 2 teenage sons think? What did Brick Johnson think about this? That is his name, by the way, right? Brick? Yes, that is his name. His name is Brick Johnson. I'm sure he's not the only person ever named Brick. We might have a listener named Brick. But it sounds like a millionaire's name. Sounds like a Nepo baby's name, which is exactly what his dad is, too, from the Johnson & Johnson fortune. 877-377-6963 will say, so Patrick Mahomes is not in the Pro Bowl. And does he need a chip? I mean, is there anything that
as
he
athletes,
needs for the
though, Phil?
motivation?
That's all I'm
You're
saying.
searching for
As
it, right?
as an athlete, as an Uber competitor, he's a billion. I mean, he makes $500 million playing quarterback for the Chiefs.
Who was the team that was making fun of his voice? Said it was like Kermit the Frog. That's the kind of thing. They were open about it. They were open about it. I can't remember what it was. It was a couple of months ago. Sounds like Kermit the Frog. Oh yeah, well, can Kermit throw like this? Can Kermit throw a backhanded 10-yard pass?
He definitely has that. Why am I making that with all these marbles in my mouth? Your boy that does the Smells Like Teen Spirit song. Yeah.
Weird Al. Yeah, Weird Al. And your boy Patrick Mahomes do have a little bit of a connection there with that. You're right. No, I don't think that's going to be. Here's the thing that Bradshaw, Terry Bradshaw said they're not going to win 3 in a row. And I think he meant 3 games in a row, which would also be 3 Super Bowls in a row. Now, this is a quarterback that would have a reason to say he's not going to do it because Bradshaw had 2 cracks at a 3rd Super Bowl championship in a row, and they couldn't pull it off. I think he was hurt after the Steelers won back-to-back Super Bowls, and he wasn't even able to play in the playoffs. But, yeah, that's somebody right there that had a chance to pull off 3 in a row. And in his mind, it was like, well, I can't even admit that he could do it. The Chiefs just know how to win games, though, right now, man. They just know how to win games. I have difficulty when it comes to a team like that, and I felt the same way about Brady with the Pats. I have a tough time believing they lose until I actually see it.
They've only lost, once this year? You start looking at the last 365 days, how many times have they lost? I'm with you. So if Kansas City has home field advantage through the playoffs, who's going into Kansas City? I mean, are these teams amazing? Yes, these teams are good as far as if it's Baltimore or Buffalo. You got to go into Kansas City and beat them. I don't know, man.
I would
have to see it to believe it.
I would say I don't know, but I think we kind of feel like we know and don't think it's going to happen until we see it happen. Then you can believe it. Into our 3rd hour, Brett Dolan coming up in just a bit. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The big after Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Check out the huge savings under the porch and throughout the store. Save 50% off select work, hunting, and casual clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Sitlock, Drake, Browning, Pursuit Gear, and more. Hurry in while the selection is at its best. Don't miss the big Jelco Outdoors 50% off after Christmas sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Open New Year's Day, 10 till 5.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salasol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny to partly cloudy skies. Our high this afternoon, upper 40s to low 50s. Clear to partly cloudy skies tonight, upper 20s to low 30s. We end the week Friday with sunshine, a high in the mid-40s north, low 50s south, and another sunny one on Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What they for one racerback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on halftime. We get into our third hour, 1 minute after 1 o'clock on the 2nd of January, 2025. Bill Elson here, along with my partner, Matt Jones. Matt, where's 45, man? I mean, what's going on here? We've had a two-producer existence for the last, has it been like 2-3 months since Colton Little, was sort of took over for the third hour in these last few months. We've had him grow into a portion of the show, and he's like, you know what he's like? He was like a jolt of caffeine.
You never know around here what's going to happen.
Well, it's about the right time of the day. Some of us have the 3 o'clock fade. 2 hours into a show that starts at 11, I need a little human caffeine at 1 o'clock. Don't you, Matt?
You know, the unit's bringing it today. He is 45, and in the unit, they're
got to step it up on the third hour.
They got the shift in baseball they allow you now. So we've had a shift. We've had a 20-25 shift, and so it's just like what Notre Dame. Well, it's not like what Notre Dame and Georgia's doing tonight, but you have to adjust and adapt, and maybe these are the new roles and the new 25. This is the new us.
That's a good point. You have to be able to adjust from the things that you can't control, and I can't control the employment schedule at ESPN Arkansas.
I think we'd have to go to meetings or something if you want to do that. So yeah, we don't want any of that responsibility.
My whole existence is basically all about not being in meetings.
Yeah, I like to meet at 11. This is my meeting time. Yeah.
I don't think I've had a real meeting, really, like sitting around a conference table with people, talking business.
Taking TCB. Yeah.
It's been at least since the last time that I came into this studio here and tried to convince Tommy Kraft to have a radio show with me as the host. So it's been six years and about 4 months. That's pretty good existence, Matt. If I got to go almost 7 years between meetings, maybe you want to mirror the way I'm living my life.
I'm doing something right.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. So who has to do the adjusting here? Is it us or is it C Unit? Because what we were getting in the last hour from 45 was a lot of excitement, was a lot of intensity. I don't know anybody that has the tiniest little spaces between his words than Colton 45 Little.
I see what you're saying, and I like it. I think the unit, all he has to do is continue to be himself.
There we go.
Don't try to be anybody you're not. You
Can
know,
you just speak a little bit faster, just a tiny bit?
I can
faster?
try.
I want a cafe latte. I want a cafe latte right now. They told me I could have as many cafe lattes as I want.
I took Matt over to get his coffee this morning when I showed up, and I thought,
Oh, my barista lady, I love her. She's the coolest. Yeah.
yeah, she got a nice tip too. She punched your card exactly the way you
Man,
wanted.
she takes care of me.
Double espresso.
That's-
It's nice and hot.
That's right.
There you go. Well, good to have you back, C Unit, because he used to be our producer for 3 hours, so it's just back to what that used to be.
I'm aware that I need to bring it on the third hour because, by the third hour, you guys, it's the golden hour. Everything goes. So
Not now. Not 24 hours from now, it'll be the golden hour. This is still just hardcore, very, very intense and gruff sports talk.
all right.
If you can pull that off, that would be just great. Chris thinks it's not. You got to do halftime homework. And I guess we did that with you once the college football season ended last year. We were going to do it with 45. He had a nice nickname, El Flamo Blanco, and he was going to learn a few things about this and that. The thing though, Matt, is I thought he might have taught us some things about pop culture from before he was alive. I don't see that at a C Unit.
Yeah.
He's a youngster that, pledged to fraternity and all that stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff.
We've had two different roads.
Yeah.
So who was the one who pledged to fraternity?
45.
45 pledged to fraternity. I would like to be in on one meeting of that fraternity, and that's it. Just the ones that said, "Yeah, we'll take him." Why?
I was kind of sheltered growing up. Played sports, but I was, video games. I didn't live a lot. I could have.
That is living. Why do you want to go live and get run over by a car?
That's what I'm saying.
And,
Well,
it's like, you got to be careful these days. You can't go anywhere.
Does what happen? And have you been to Bourbon Street before?
Yeah, I've been places. It's just, as I've gotten older, I've kind of just reverted back to just being, kind of myself, like Matt said. Just
There's nothing for me out there.
To me, it's also you wonder about how does this not happen more times than it
Is
already
it because
has?
we have more social media and more cameras? Was this happening 30 years ago? It seems like every other week there's something going on. If it's a shooting, if it's terrorist attack, it just seems like it's the norm now. It's not out of the ordinary. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever.
I didn't even really go to parties because usually something like that could even happen at at a party. Somebody brings a gun or something. Tempers get out of control. Next thing you know, your life's cut short.
But this kind of thing is still not the norm, really, because we react with shock at this. I mean, everybody's reacting, I think, exactly the way that we should. It's like these things should not happen in this society, even though it feels like it happens more now than it did 30 years ago. And the idea that there are bad people out there that want to get at big gatherings, no matter where they are. And the fact that this one stands out so much tells me that the precautions that have been in place beforehand have been working. If these barriers that were malfunctioning, or if they would have worked, or if they would have been fixed for the Sugar Bowl instead of getting it ready for the Super Bowl. I mean, they're talking about here. I was reading about the security presence at the Sugar Bowl today, talking about, this is going to feel like Super Bowl security. Well, why does it already not feel like Super Bowl security? You're going to have a sellout inside that building. You get two fan bases coming in for a neutral site, just like you do the Super Bowl. You got maybe not as much media covering it, but certainly a ton. Why would there not be Super Bowl level security anyway?
Well, you look back to the Copa America just this summer and what happened down there at Miami, where the Orange Bowl's going after this. You had people jumping into the state. It was just a big ruckus up there, and the same concept. It was like, well, we're preparing for something that's coming in the future, and they weren't all the way prepared. There's no excuses to not. You got to be prepared these days.
I think there's also the feeling that it's not an isolated incident, with the explosion of that Cybertruck outside, I think it was Trump Tower in Vegas. There's the feeling like there's something else that's going on here, and hopefully it's not connected. But, that's going to be an aspect of watching this game, even on television or listening on our airwaves, is the idea that, yes, something terrible happened like 36 hours or so before kickoff or something like that. But there's still got to be the not the mindset, but the thought in the back of your head that we've got this huge gathering right here.
Yeah.
Are we safe to do this right now?
Seems like it's the biggest, target.
you look, you got to play the game. You have to play the game if you can at least clear the area of all of downtown. And I don't know what goes into it. Look, I remember trying to get into War Memorial Stadium for the UAPB game so I could do halftime. Remember, I was late getting in for the first segment because they had the bomb dogs sweeping through the press box and the suites and everything. And that takes, think of how big War Memorial is compared to the Superdome, for crying out loud. And that took me, I sat out there for an hour waiting. I was happy to wait for an hour because we had, I don't know, 30,000 people or so. It's a big enough crowd that you worry that something crazy can happen. I mean, you're talking about a crowd that's more than twice that size in a stadium where the entire country of sports fans will still be watching, even though it's 3:00 and some people are at work. It's, going to be a little nervous watching it. But then when the game goes off without a hitch, do you just kind of go back into feeling about big gatherings like you did before this happened? And you just, look, everything in life is a risk, right? Getting out of bed,
I'll tell you,
walking across the street, you take a risk just by leaving your house.
I tell you, I've given second thought about having a child with all these, incidents happening at these schools. I mean, it's gotten that bad where it's like you hear about it every day almost. It's just
there definitely should be an IQ test before people should be able to have children. It's what's the breeder song? It's like, I've been around the world and I found that only stupid people are breeding. It's man, we've got to teach the children better because we're failing as a society with our youth.
Well, I think one of the reasons that I'd be nervous is that the culprit here was obviously someone who was patriotic enough and believed in the United States of America enough to be part of the United States Army for 10 years. And from that vantage point to what he did on Bourbon Street, I mean, you're talking about a complete change in mindset and the things you believe in. Something happened. Something wild happened.
Yeah, well, you got to be cantankerous to do what he did. You're not just a happy person.
Somebody that's changing your mind for you.
Absolutely, something wasn't vibing right. That's for sure, and we don't know what it is. It's you got to have a foundation. You got to have somebody. Who else can you talk to? Like we're lucky. Both my parents are still alive. Christian, I think yours are too. Yeah. Phil, I know you're. Like you just don't know the background and everything. What has that guy been through the last 10 years of his life?
And to me, this isn't a matter of letting the terrorists win or beating the terrorists because you play a football game. This is about making sure that everybody that's within the neighborhood of downtown New Orleans, bigger than the football game. I mean, the entire area has to be safe before you can have this game played. And if they're doing that, if they're playing this game today, that means they feel that people are safe. Yeah. That's top of the list. We're going to play this game no matter what, whether it was today, tomorrow, the day after. Just make sure they're all safe, and I hope that's the case today. Get over to Fish City Grill in Rogers. They have great January specials. Yellowfin tuna tacos, grilled barramundi. The tuna tacos come in grilled to perfection with avocado sauce and smoky pico de gallo and jalapeno rice. The barramundi is grilled with crawfish tails and cream, crispy okra, and it's served on fluffy cornbread. You can call Fish City Grill at 479-636-8833 to get your Fish City Grill favorites for curbside pickup or delivery. Visit them on South Bellevue Road in Rogers and online at fishcitygrill.com. Brett Dolan is joining us right after the break on Halftime.
They were so convincing in their argument, they swung me.
This is Halftime.
Tommy, when's the last time you've had breast milk?
Sports to the wacky, weird, and wonderful. We've got you covered.
You got to be able to shoot. You got to be a threat.
You suck the helium out of a balloon and then you get, hey, how you doing?
Is that dangerous? I'm a hugger.
I never get a hug from you. What's that about?
I'm selective with them.
I've been guilty of saying that you are what your record says you are. It feels different now.
13 hours of local programming in podcast form every day. Don't miss a moment of fun on the Hit That Line Podcast Network.
Have you ever pooped yourself?
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink, all for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbIrdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I'm with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know you're a wizard here at First Financial Mortgage, but you do okay with the sticks as well.
Yeah, I've been playing golf since I was 5. I've been in the golf game for a long time.
Question is, what are you better at, golf or lending?
I have to say that equally both. I've used golf in my career to kind of help propel it as well. I used to prepare hard with golf. I do the same thing in work. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Sydney from Ben Guerin. 2025 annual passes are now available at Ben Guerin Golf Course. We offer a variety of plans to meet your budget needs. We have special pricing for juniors, seniors, and military. If you're looking for the best golf value in the River Valley, then look no further than Ben Guerin Golf Course. Book your 2025 tournament outings now. For more information, call the Pro Shop at 646-5301, go to benguerringolf.com, or follow us on Facebook. When you think golf, think Ben Guerin.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
The nation's best home court advantage lives inside Bud Walton Arena. While the students are away for winter break, we want you to fill in and bring the energy to the Trough. You can relive the glory days and be a student at any of our 4 winter break games. Only a limited number of tickets are available, so head to ArkansasRazorbacks.com to purchase yours today.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
But no one ever does. I'm not sick, but I'm not well. And I'm so hard, 'cause I'm in been around the world and found that only stupid people are breeding. The queen's cloning and feeding. And I don't even put me in the hospital for nursing, then they had to commit me. You told them all I was crazy. They cut off my legs now.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, headed to our phones. Brett Dolan with us, play-by-play, touchdown radio, perfect game, Arkansas Razorback sports, and we always like to play where in the world is Brett Dolan, so that's always going to be the first question. Brett, where in the world are you?
I'm back in the natural state for at least 24 hours, so it's good to be back.
Wow, what actually brings you back right now?
Well, I don't know. We've started a new year. We're back at our offices. We're doing our thing. And even though you've got the game tonight and I don't, we're still grinding for what's next, what's on tap.
Yeah, well, there's lots on tap, aren't there?
Hey, did you watch any of this Ohio State game yesterday? And just the outside presence, the physicality, number 2 and number 4. I mean, those receivers going forward. If you man any one of those guys up, you're toast. And then Junkins might not be their best running back. 32 might be Ohio State's best running back. But is Ohio State the hottest team in the country right now?
Well, they have to be. And I think the frustrating part, Matt, all year has been those 2 receivers and those 2 running backs are elite. And Jeremiah Smith, as a freshman, has been fantastic. Ibuka has been really good. Howard's had a hard time getting the ball to them. He had one 300-yard passing game all year, and now he's gone back-to-back with 300-plus, and their weapons. And that combination of Howard, the 2 running backs, the 2 receivers look fantastic. So for them to take a team that had been the one school, one program all year that didn't have a blemish and put them down 34-0 before halftime was just incredible to watch. Oregon looked like the Big Ten teams from yesteryear that lumbered out of the snow and were down 17 points to a Pac-12 team before they knew what hit them. The only problem was that was a really good Oregon team, but an even better Ohio State team, at least right now.
We're prisoners of the moment with what we last saw. You know, if you were to transport yourself to a month ago, would you thought Ohio State would look as good as they did right now or even still be playing? It's like, and Texas is the team that, man, they play down to their level of competition, which also makes me wonder if they can play up to that level of competition, which feels weird when you're talking about a team that's that talented, but going up against Ohio State, that is playing up. So I really don't know what to expect, because if you go by what you last saw, so often you're going to be wrong.
Well, we do it all the time, and I think it's in part why this year has been so difficult to make predictions for those that like to bet for the same thing. If you think about it, without a 12-team playoff, Ohio State would have been in the Cheez-It Bowl. I'm sorry, Penn State would have been in the Cheez-It Bowl rather than Illinois against South Carolina, because they would have lost to Ohio State. Ohio State would have been dealing with, can Ryan Day even stick around and continue to take this program to another level? And he's on the verge of maybe running them into a national championship game. And things change. And to your point, Phil, in regards to Texas, I think having them twice late in the year, the thought was they couldn't run the football enough in some big games to win. So they go out and run for 350 against Clemson. And your thought is, well, they figured it out. They're facing a non-SEC opponent. Look at them. And they were right back into their issues yesterday, running the football, and found a way to win enough plays and to make enough plays to win that game. But that Texas team is really hard to figure out. Quinn Ewers was terrible at times, and yet he made 5 or 6 plays, really good plays, when they absolutely had to have it to win games. So it is really tough, I think, to try and figure this out week to week. And I'm with you. We react. We see what happened, and then we try and figure out how that portends to the next week ahead. And it's getting even more difficult to figure it out when we don't know a lot about Boise State or Arizona State, but then we're seeing an Ohio State team that looks entirely different than they were against Michigan, and a Texas team that really does ride that roller coaster up and down.
I wonder how much, too, you see this in professional sports, whether it be the World Series or the NBA Finals. One team might get 12 days rest. One team might get 3 days rest. And it's kind of, was there too much rest? All the home teams won in the first round. All the teams that had the extra rest in the bye, they have lost so far. Does that trend continue? Does Georgia take another L for a clean sweep?
Well, that's an interesting matchup, because I think it kind of gets back into the baseball playoffs that Phil and I talk about, where the team that ends up getting the bye doesn't take full advantage, and they end up looking rusty rather than rested.
Because I think that was with Oregon, right? Like, don't you think that had a little bit to do? I mean, Ohio State's a great team, but like you said, Oregon had that time off. Man, they looked like they were still in the clubhouse.
Well, from a game speed standpoint, you're 1,000% right. It took them a quarter and a half to wake up, and Ohio State looked like they came off the big win at home, which they did against Tennessee. So that's going to be the one aspect about this playoff. And I think there's some tweaks coming because clearly having the 4 teams with byes that they did probably not all of them were worthy of it, like a Boise State. Certainly Oregon, as the number 1 seed, had the most difficult path, and Penn State really fortunate the way things work out with the seeding for them. But, I would probably lean towards Notre Dame in this game against Georgia. Obviously, unusual circumstances. I would say the one thing about Georgia that we don't know is how Gunnar Stockton's going to look throwing the football against a good passing defense. We know that Notre Dame runs the football well, and we know Georgia can stop the run. So can anybody pass the football in this game? But I think you're right, Matt. If Georgia goes down to defeat, it's another team that enjoyed a bye that really didn't look very good coming out of that long break and this crazy new 12-team format that we're trying to figure out on the fly.
Hey, you had a pretty good Texas Bowl with Baylor and LSU. Looked like neither team could really stop the other from throwing the ball successfully, but 75 points. You had quite the game there.
It was bizarre. I think we had a bingo card of bizarre because we had a kickoff return for a touchdown. We had a punt return for a touchdown that was called back. We had a blocked field goal. We had a missed extra point. We had a 36-yard loss on 4th and 1. And that was just a handful of what we saw take place. But I think the one theme in that game, Phil, is the same theme that we have seen off and on throughout these entire postseason games, whether they're regular bowl games or not. Special teams has been wildly important. Teams have made plays, kickoff returns, punt returns. People can't figure out how to get off the freaking field. Texas giving up a 36-yard pass to a fat guy who's not even a skill player yesterday. It can't happen. Texas has a real good field goal kicker. He couldn't make anything. Arizona State can't make a field goal if you beg them to do so. So I don't know what's going on with this lull in special teams, but it has been so impactful in so many games, both good and bad. I don't know if these special team coordinators have just taken off these last couple of weeks, or in all the transition, you're moving players onto the special teams units that haven't been there because of the portal or whatnot. But wow, you can't watch a bowl game without 2 or 3 wild special teams plays that seem to have great impacts.
Brett, we're right here as far as Saturday will be opening SEC basketball conference play. What are expectations if you're a Razorback fan? Coach Cal's first year here. I mean, all new players. I think Brazile might be playing his best ball in a Razorback uniform. Can this Razorback team have a 500 or better record this year in conference play?
I think it's a pretty good number to shoot for, and maybe that's not exciting or sexy, but we do know this league is at an all-time high. So I think you've got to be able to win at home quite a bit because winning on the road is really going to be difficult. You have to avoid stretches where you don't play well. And for me, Matt, I think that means for Arkansas being healthy. I mean, you don't want Brazile to be playing better and have Adu miss some games, or see Wagner play better but have Nelly Davis, this unknown if he's going to play or if he's still sitting. He's been out for a couple of weeks. I would hope it would be go time, but who knows right now. Arkansas's been playing about a man or two down throughout the entire year, and it's been different players, and it's been different injuries and ankle injuries and wrists and foots and whatnot. I'm hoping that they're getting to that point where at least that is behind them, because they don't want to go into this league schedule and constantly be missing Big Z for 2 weeks or Nelly Davis for a couple of weeks. And I think 500 is a pretty good moniker, and it may not sound that way, but a 500 league record probably gets you a pretty good seed in the NCAA tournament and still a great chance then to get to a Sweet 16.
I would say that the season hinges upon this, but they brought in Nelly Davis to be, a guy to score in the upper teens at the very least on a consistent basis. And he just hasn't been that player because I don't think he's been healthy at all for a while now since, whatever happened before the season started for this wrist injury. And now keeping him out for the last couple of the weeks, they're getting him ready for Saturday. I would anticipate, but man, I just wonder if this is what it's going to be like for him all season long. Because when it comes to a wrist, Brett, it's like the same for a hitter. If it's your shooting wrist and it's your power wrist for a hitter, you're a different player.
And it feels like a hamstring injury as well. It just never fully heels and you're feeling okay, but you're always concerned that one bad movement or bad game might kind of set you back again where you're starting that process over. And I think when you're a coach, and it doesn't matter if you're Cal with this basketball team or you're Sam with a football team, when you're going into the portal, you're putting your pieces together and you're saying, I need a big guy, I need an outside shooter, I need this complement. And then you do so, and when you're constantly missing these pieces, your team doesn't look like you envisioned it would. And without Nellie Davis, I think that's one more scoring element, one more perimeter shooter that Arkansas doesn't have. And I'm with you, Phil. I don't know if this thing is healed. I would say when he didn't play against Oakland, that gave me pause, only because I thought he would want a game before the league play to kind of get back up to game speed. That same thing we were just talking about with college football, how hard it is to sit and then jump in and not look like you have not been playing games for a period of time. But then again, if that thing's not right, I'm sure they're looking at the last opportunity against an Oakland team, which was a winnable game, before they really have to have him play, even if he's not 100%. But it's not a terribly deep team, and they've invested a lot in some of these players, and I hope for Arkansas's sake that they can at least be to that point where they can go out there and compete without having to miss too much time.
I'll just close with a thought here that I never thought about it this way until I started broadcasting college baseball games. Once we get to the new year, now it's not a matter, pitchers and catchers in 45 days. No, games, like actual games, are coming up in less than 6 weeks. And I'm starting to get, the questions are starting to fly out from Twitter and wherever, just people that I'm bumping into at basketball games and whatnot. I feel like they're always anticipating baseball season here, but there's just a little something to it right now. It feels like a little more heavier anticipation than usual.
You and I think a lot alike when it comes to that baseball thing, because I was having a conversation just today. When it gets to January 1st or 2nd, as much as it feels like it's the beginning of conference basketball season, we're almost just a month away from being go time in college baseball. So I pulled my scorebook out today and was looking to see if I had enough pages or I needed a new one. And even though it may get cold and dreary or we'll play basketball, and in a couple of weeks, it will really feel like we're bending towards the start of a season. So I'm with you. It doesn't take me long post January 1 before I start thinking about college baseball in a new season.
Brett, a happy new year. Appreciate you coming on with us as always. Thanks a lot. And looking forward to seeing you at Bud Walton sometime soon.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Brett Dolan with us on Thursdays here on Halftime. Hey, don't forget to download the new Hit That Line Now app. It is all brand new. You get audio and video on it. It is fueled by Taco Bell and the Taco Bell $7 Lux Craving Box with 3 full-size classics, chips, nacho cheese sauce, and a drink. Lux for less. Download the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell, where every bite is a win. And we're in the home stretch of halftime. You can get with us. Calls, texts, 877-377-6963. Right back in a moment.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Today, football is a game of sound. What if you couldn't hear your coach's play calls? What if you couldn't hear the referee's whistle? For deaf and hard of hearing athletes like me, these what-ifs are a reality. But with the AT&T 5G helmet, now we can see play calls just like the other teams hear them.
Connect the player, change the game. Learn more at att.com/5G helmet. Connecting changes everything. AT&T. AT&T is a proud supporter of the Gallaudet Bison. AT&T 5G helmet not for sale.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Over the river and through the woods, to Salisaw we go. Mock Legal Solutions is opening a second location to serve our Eastern Oklahoma clients. 105 East Chickasaw. For divorce and custody, let us give you the Christmas gift of a new start. And for personal injury, we will get you a settlement check when Grandma gets run over by that reindeer. 918-238-2363. Or check out our website at mocklegalsolutions.com. Free intakes and payment plans available. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Hey everyone, Erica Jensen here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Are you happy with your current office technology provider? Did you know that AAA Business Systems has been in business since 1979 and longer than any other provider in Northwest Arkansas? Listen up, I may be a Cajun girl at heart, but I'm a Razorback through and through. Call me today at 479-442-4185 to learn more about the one company that can truly change the way you work and remember anything else is just a copy.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, you can check disgrace, drag my name all over the place. Don't care anymore. You can tell everybody about the state I'm in. You won't catch me crying 'cause I just can't win. Don't care anymore. Don't care anymore. I don't care what you say. I don't play the same games you play. 'Cause I've been talking to the people that you call friends, and it seems to me there's a means to an end. They don't care anymore.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Just a little Razorback news. Darren Wilson, Arkansas secondary coach, is leaving the program to take over Georgia State as the defensive coordinator. So at the same time, you got some visitors coming in out of the portal. You'll be looking for a new secondary coach as well, but that's the only coaching hire that Sam Pittman's looking to make at the time being. I don't know if we got thoughts from Dudley Dawson on Desmond James in the portal. Matt, what about you? I mean, this is a kid who played. I mean, he played in a few other games, but the only game he made an impact in is the last game he ever plays at Arkansas. 3 receptions as a Razorback. One of them is the longest pass play in school history. The offensive MVP in the Liberty Bowl, and headed somewhere else. But here's the thing. Without the Liberty Bowl, nobody would have known who he is.
Those be the rules. I didn't know who he was until he played against Texas Tech. I don't know that the grass is always greener for him. If that's what he's thinking, he's supposed to go somewhere else. I don't. Where's the kid from? I don't. I haven't. Is he an Arkansas kid?
He's from North Carolina. I don't remember the part of North Carolina.
You just wonder. I mean, it's and then we talked about earlier. It's like who are in these people's ear? How many of these kids have their mama and their daddy? Or how many of them have somebody in there that's in their ear telling them they're the best thing? It's like you got a really good situation right here. Taylon Green's coming back. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to be an Arkansas Razorback for another year. But then again, he made himself I don't know, 25% more money than what he was going to get, 40% more money. He did. That was like an interview. It was like an open interview. He played well. You got to remember who he's going against. Texas Tech had about 6 people out of that whole 22, offense and defense, that could play for Arkansas. They didn't have a lot of. They had a couple. They had some couple nice pieces here and there, but they didn't. You got to wonder about who you're playing against. But man, hey, that's the rules of the game. Get in there, see what you can make. And, maybe he can. I don't know. I was impressed with him, but, Texas Tech, they couldn't stop anybody all game.
It'll be very interesting to see where it is that he ends up. Whether it's going to be an SEC school.
Let's go learn another
5.
playbook. Yeah, you're raw. You're trying to, what you're trying to do with that area is you're trying to react and play, not have to think. And so that's why you're getting on there. You got a rapport with the coaching staff, and it's just interesting, but that's just the way it goes. I guess you can't really get up in arms about it.
Well, and you look at who they're bringing in out of the portal to play that position specifically, and there's just a lot of production that's coming in here. Your receiver, Cam Shanks, the kid from Alabama, Birmingham. I mean, he's AAC third teamer. So that's somebody that's coming in automatically. He's on the depth chart. Same with Raylan Sharp, who was a star at Fresno. This Omega Blake is potentially, the kid out of Charlotte is potentially your big game breaker. Then there's Crutchfield. Then there's, whomever else is still on the team that might actually be part of the plans. Don't give up on Bryce Stevens. I mean, Stevens was back there returning punts for the first time in 2 years. And I think he had the block that helped James spring free on the 94-yard touchdown. So, and I don't know if it's a matter of the kid shying away from competition or also just a couple of factors. One, striking while the iron is hot, because this is the only chance for him to get a hot iron on national television in order to make the kind of money that I think he might think of. It might be more difficult to get reps next year with these guys that are coming in, as good as he looked. So now was the time. Now's the time to strike while the iron's hot, and he's still on the in the minds of some of the coaches who might have watched that game. He's got on film.
I wonder what he made this year. I wonder what he makes next year. I mean, they should be a little more transparent about that. So how much more money is he going to make to go somewhere else? Is it going to be a step up in competition, or is it just somewhere that are you just going to the highest bidder? Or are you just going to where you can play the most? What is the reasoning? Because the loyalty aspect, you just got to get rid of it. All these kids, they're playing for themselves, and then you have a team game, and you try to play as a team. But for the most part, that's a position where, hey man, you're trying to put something on tape where then you can go play for somebody good.
Well, and I think Arkansas's got some players that are looking for that exact same idea, and that's why I really do think they've brought in some playmakers at that position. Can't ever have too many, and
the coaching staff knows you. That's the other thing. You kind of wonder about this coaching staff right now. If they're going to let you walk, then that should be a little more telling. That instead of, hey, no, we want you to be here. What are you at? Is that conversation not have? What number does it take to get you to stay here at Arkansas?
We got a point on the text line from Jacob at 877-377-6963. They had the second worst pass defense of a Power 4 school, according to Jacob, since 2021, and it was second worst in the nation this year. So that that also is part of it. Is who your competition was, and how many guys were they down to?
And I think we have to look at that when we look at Braylon Russell. Yeah, he came in and played against a Tennessee team that wasn't really that they weren't really on their game, but he played one SEC game against the worst team in conference play and did well. It's like, but everybody did well against Mississippi State. Everybody set records when they played Mississippi State running the ball.
I was just looking here on Texas Tech's season here. Arkansas threw for 341 yards. 1, 2, 3. That was fourth most against them this season. Fifth most against them this season. So you had quite a lot that threw for even Abilene Christian threw for over 500 against Texas Tech in their first game of the year, in a game that, by the way, Tech won 52-51. So that's the defense that was giving up a lot of points all year long. And that's the same idea as, we go by what we just saw in terms of teams, Ohio State against Michigan, and then look at what's happened the last 2 weeks. Same with Texas against Arizona State. Does that mean Texas is going to show up and have a bunch of false starts at the wrong time and maybe get lucky with very lucky with a targeting call that should have gone against them and lay an egg against Ohio State? I don't think that's going to happen. I think Texas could win that game. I don't think they will, but I think they could because they played to their level of competition. But if you're going by what you just saw, just this last game, you think Ohio State's going to run roughshod over them. It's the same idea as taking what you saw from Desmond James or Taylon Green or anybody else in that Liberty Bowl and think that that's what you see next year. It isn't always the case, and quite often it never is. That wasn't against SEC talents. The teams that was Texas Tech would be Mississippi State in the SEC. So yeah, you have to kind of look at it objectively. 877-377-6963. It's like the concept I talk about UAPB. That's a game that counts as a win. But when you're looking at your stats for the season and you want to say, well, how are we? What are we trying? You don't add those stats in there because it skews them the wrong way because you're not playing against UAPB. But yeah, it's a win. Same concept. You don't really put that in there. But hey, man, that was our next opponent. We went out there and fought, and we were supposed to win that game. And that's a good thing. When the games that you're supposed to win, you go out there and you take care of business. You remember how I made a stat up earlier for offensive linemen to get a touchdown assist. If you're responsible for pushing the ball carrier or receiver or literally throwing him into the end zone like number 77 did for Arizona State, you ought to get an assist. I don't know if that means you get 3.5 points or what, but touchdown assist, I think, would be a nice little stat. Like you get half a sack, you can get half a sack. You can get 3.5 points for half a touchdown. It would be 3 and 3, yeah. What about on the stat page, a grain of salt category? So where you're like, all right, these are the stats in the games that you really don't know if these stats mean anything. They won the game, but does it really mean much? Here's the games against Division I. Here's the games against Power 5. Here's the games against SEC. And here's the grain of salt category. A shaker full of salt in some cases. Seems to work because I agree with you in this case. I feel the same way. Like when it's like baseball. What do y'all say? Exactly. Either Tuesday night games or Wednesday night. Like those, you're supposed to win those games. Yeah. You're also supposed to get over to Crabtree RV Center in Alma if you're looking for an RV for adventures that you're thinking about for the family. Crabtree RV Center's been doing it for over 70 years. They're at the junction of I-40 and I-49, right beside the Cracker Barrel. Get a look at the entire inventory online at crabtreerv.com, and we'll come back and wrap up halftime right after this.
This is halftime.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
The big after Christmas sale is underway at Gelco Outdoors. Check out the huge savings under the porch and throughout the store. Save 50% off select work, hunting, and casual clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Scentlock, Drake, Browning, Pursuit Gear, and more. Hurry in while the selection is at its best. Don't miss the big Gelco Outdoors 50% off after Christmas sale. Gelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Open New Year's Day, 10 till 5.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. Mike Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Super Bowl parties, Mardi Gras celebrations, Valentine's decorations, and more. Party supplies for 1 to 100. Shop the Party Place in Fort Smith.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Are you tired of the same old smelly gym? Then it's time to try something new. Let's Hang Out. The Hangout Fitness and Sports is the River Valley's only multi-sport family-friendly facility with a 24-hour gym and indoor courts for tennis and pickleball. With over 8,000 square feet for the gym alone, it's never overcrowded. The Hangout has certified trainers on staff with group personal training available. If HIIT, bar, yoga, or Pilates is your thing, they have that too. Join today and get January for free with a 3-month commitment. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's Hang Out.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Down. I'm overworking till the sundown. Don't see the light inside my head now. I need to see you in my window. In a whisper, all I really want is you. What would you do? Lying in the rain with you. Middle of June, all I really want is you. What would you do? Sleeping outside the moon. You.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Before we wrap halftime up, let's take a phone call. Nelson has given us a call here on the hotline. Nelson, Happy New Year.
Hey,
Good afternoon. Hey, what's going on?
Happy New Year, guys. I want it to be very blessed and very prosperous for all of you guys there.
Thank you very much. You too.
I just wanted to talk about something you just said. When that guy pulled the guy into the end zone, you're supposed to be able to push people, but you're not supposed to pull people. That's supposed to be automatically dead play.
It was a bear hug. I mean, Scataba was lying on him, and he puts his arms all around him. It looked like he was squeezing the life out of him, and he rolled into the end zone like he was an alligator carrying his prey.
So that's why they didn't call it a pull. Because you think because you are not supposed to pull a player. You can push them, but it's supposed to be illegal to pull somebody.
No bear hugs into the end zone, I guess.
Yeah, but hey, Phil, have a great call tonight, man. Do everything you can to get them women to win for first win to 2025. I know you're going to do that anyways. I've seen you working, man. You're a hard-working dude.
Well,
and Chuck and Z.
I try my best. I
just
don't know if my shot is good enough tonight to help the team very much. I'll try. Thank you very much, Nelson. You got it. 877. Well, I was going to give the phone number. We got like less than 2 minutes left here. Yeah, not much that I can do. I can give them good vibes and everything. I guess I can, smile and all that, but nothing I can do except saying somebody's shooting percentage at the free throw line before they shoot. That's what I'm always told. That's where I have that's where I have a real impact.
Well, it's an opportunity to go out there and play. Hopefully those, like you said, the Ladybacks are going to play hard. They're going to fight hard. I'm a Coach Neighbors fan. That's for sure. And hopefully that's what they do. That's all you can do. My pops is a coach, and one of the things he always said was, if you give it your best, we'll take it. So that's what you got to do. We'll take the win or the L, whatever you do, though, you got to go out there and give it your best and try hard. And I think that's what the Ladybacks do.
You feel any differently about the outcome of the Sugar Bowl than you would have if it would have been played yesterday? I still think Georgia's going to pull this out. I still believe in Kirby Smart. And
I think where it's either going to be it's Texas, Georgia in the championship game or Ohio State, Georgia. I think that's how I would line it up.
Well, don't forget, there is no Ruskin and Zach this afternoon. Once we are done in just a few minutes, it'll be ESPN programming until the bottom of the hour at 2:30. That's when the ESPN Sugar Bowl pregame show begins. 3:00 kickoff. We'll have the entire broadcast on this ESPN Arkansas station that you're listening to. Otherwise, we're with you again tomorrow. We will have the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out in just a few minutes, thanks to our now full-time producer, Seaburger Movie Unit, Christian Johnston. It'll have our talks with Dudley Dawson, Brett Dolan, and just about everything else we spoke about on the show here. Tomorrow, halftime again, live, 11 until 2. That's when we'll talk to you next. So for Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. We appreciate you tuning in today. Stay tuned for the Sugar Bowl and get up, get out, and get better.